Thank you for listening today on Revealing Wholeness, sponsored by Infinity Whole Health. Check out our website at infinityWholeHealth.com, where we are revealing the eternal in each individual, the infinite in the individual. The creativity is made manifest. Limitation is let go. Now, here's your host, Dr. Troy Munson.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson, and in our Kids and Chiropractic podcast series that we're doing, today is the first installment of that, and we're going to be talking about just general neck pain and what does that look like for a child. Now, I've seen children as young as 2 years of age have neck pain and actually complain about it. But typically I'll see that, 6 to 7, maybe 8-year-old, and I've had kids with their head on their shoulder coming in where they're just crying, they're in tons of neck pain, and they can't do anything. And I bet I see that at least 2 to 3 times a year, somebody come in like that. But what's weird is within the last 3 months, I've seen 4 cases. And I have some suspicions of that. Yes, they've gotten injuries and they fell and they hurt themselves and now their neck's all messed up. And it's usually when they have tears coming in my office, they're really quite unhappy about their neck pain. But if you've ever heard of torticollis, it typically is in infants, but it can be at really any age. And ultimately, from with experience, I actually woke up at age 23 for finals week at chiropractic school with my ear on my shoulder. And I was adjusted 3 times a day as an adult with torticollis, and it was one of the most painful experiences I've ever had. And, your head's sitting on your shoulder and it's in a lot of pain and you can't lift your head up. And if you do, it's like stabbing, piercing pain in your neck. I remember upon day 3, I was just like, this is stupid. And I tried to move my neck up straight and about passed out because of the pain. And so when your child is crying and they're in absolute tears and they're screaming because it's so bad pain-wise, I can tell you with some certainty, I know how they feel. And to appreciate that, they did something to their neck. And if we want to talk about structures, you can go look them up. So if you just want to tune out, but maybe you're a medical provider, you're like, oh, this will be interesting. Great, this is for you. For everybody else, just tune out for a few seconds. In our neck, we have facet joints in the back, which load the weight of the spine. And you have the disc in the front where the body of the vertebra is, and that's the shock absorber. So every step we take, there's this little shock absorbing going on. It feels smooth. Well, when that joint in the back, those facets, they tear a little bit, it literally leaks fluid out, and it's called a facet syndrome. And when it does that, it can swell, there can be muscle spasms trying to protect it, and it can be really tight and really painful. When you freeze a muscle spasm in place, man, are you not moving well. And so one of the things you don't want to do with torticollis is you don't want to do ice. Sounds weird, but you really don't. You want to do some moist heat. So a rag in hot water, as hot as you can stand it with your hands, wring it out and put it on the neck and just wait till it cools down. And that's about long enough heating wise. And so you'll find that be helpful. Now, when I adjust, I'm obviously not going to manually adjust a child with torticollis, though when I had torticollis, I was manually adjusted, but only the direction that my neck would actually move without pain. So it's sitting on my shoulder or thereabouts, they would move me that direction a little bit more and adjust, and it did actually pop and move, and it was comfortable. But for most of us, we're going to stay away from adjusting the neck manually until they can actually start to pick their head up. For children, I'll typically see within 2 to 3 days their neck do a lot better. I'm going to do some nutrition along with it. So with adjustments, I'm going to see them once or twice a day for the first 3 days. I'm going to ask the parents, hey, try not to give them any sugar, as little bread as possible. Give them good protein and good fats and good vegetables. I'm going to give them samples of calcium. I'm going to try to work in those tissues and get things softened up. But as I adjust those children, I use instrument first, and then I'll do some manual things as we can get things moving. And within a very short period of time, the adjustment's becoming more and more comfortable. And now we have a child that can actually finally sleep and move their head and look both ways and function. But again, it takes a good solid week for a child below age 10 to get good mobility back. When I had my torticollis at 23, I didn't know any better at that point, and I iced my neck that first morning. And that just made it worse. And so about 9 days it finally took to get that torticollis under control myself. And it was brutal. Every step is like stabbing, piercing pain in that neck. And it is not fun at all. And so your children that have neck pain, these are kind of some of the things that they may actually be experiencing. And for children, if you're under the age of 18, you don't have actually all of your nerves that report pain yet. Our nervous system matures to the age of 18, and that's when we have all of our pain reporting nerves. So children that are like literally crying in absolute pain at age 8, I'm like, this is so bad, it would probably make me pass out. And so I totally get it. And I feel for those kids too when something happens like that. So we definitely want to take care of things. So these are some of the things that chiropractors will see, that you'll see walk in an office, but this is not the common stuff. And so we're going to get to those in the future. But hey, if your child has something like this going on, you're not sure what to do, shoot me a line. Go ahead and throw me a text or an email. I'd love to help you through that, because nobody likes to see a child in pain. So until next time, I'm Dr. Troy Munson.
The information on Dr. Troy Munson's podcast is meant to educate the listener and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease.